Hi everyone, this is Susie from Minnesota and I garden in Zone 4, and in this video I'm showing what I do to prep my beds in fall for winter. And it's October 19th today and it is snowing. So my plan today, and I did it, but I did it in the snow and the wet and the cold, it's only about mid-30s, was I mowed the lawn, mulched the leaves, baked the leaves, and I will show you what I did with them. But what I do in my zone, and I've been doing this for at least 10 years, I do not cut down any of my perennials. So along this row here I have lilacs. The one thing about lilacs or any spring or late spring blooming shrubs, you do not want to prune any of them right now because you'll be cutting off all the blooms for next year. So do not prune any of your lilacs. And all of my hydrangeas that I have are paniculata hydrangeas, and those I do not prune until I see growth in the spring also. I might be using some of these heads for my winter arrangements, I'm not sure, but I leave them on because I think they add a little interest right now. Tomorrow they're talking about 5 to 8 inches of snow. So it looks like winter definitely came early for me. Yay. Yeah, not too excited. And just a little over a week ago we had 80s and 70s. This is crazy. You can see I have a lot of leaves here that have collected. I leave them. I do not worry about the leaves until spring. I then rake them off in the spring. And my lawnmower mulches, and I have a bagger, and then I'll just mulch them up and bag them and then put them in my beds for mulch. It is kind of pretty in the snow here. I've cleaned out most of my containers. The ones that unfortunately these over here, I left them out accidentally like 2 years ago, and this one's not too bad, but the one over here, and these are ceramic, is kind of crumbly, so I'm afraid if I even try and move that I'll just bust it. So they're gonna stay there. Eventually I will have to replace them, but any containers that, like pottery, ceramic, terracotta, you got to bring in. It's definitely not gonna last through a Minnesota winter. I have tulips in here. I left the leaves collect there. I'm not going to rake them off. I did put in some of the soil from my containers. You can see that was froze. So there's some chunks here. I'm hoping that we have some warm weather later on. I would say in a week and a half. Not really. I'm standing under an umbrella right now, so let's see if I can fit under the arch. So this is what I did with all the leaves that I baked. I just put it on my raised beds. It adds organic matter to your beds. This is the best thing. I don't take any of my leaves to the compost site. I still have some containers back here too that have some soil in it. I'm just going to leave them back here too. They're plastic. I don't worry about the plastic containers sitting out. I should have trimmed that, but it's kind of pretty with the snow. This is the asparagus that seeded from somewhere. I didn't plant it. The grasses are super pretty right now with the snow on, but come tomorrow they're going to be flat as a pancake. I did lift my dahlias, so right now they're just sitting in the garage. I have to figure out how I want to store them for the winter. So yeah, you can see that the leaves I collected here, I have not put any on. I do have mulch on my beds besides the leaves. I would like to add a little more leaves to this, but we'll see what happens. And there's so many trees so far that there's still a lot of leaves to fall. This is crazy. Yeah, I don't cut back any of my perennials. I've never had issues. I do have slug issues, but this year I never did because it was just a very dry season. I did buy some compost, and I did apply it to some perennials. So I just put on like a top dressing. Kind of a little tour too of the snow. Some perennials are a little tender for me. It's the Hakanakol grasses, so they will be getting a good layer of mulch. I'm not too worried about it right now because the ground is still very warm. You can see a lot of things have not. We did get a really bad cold snap here. I think it was 26, 27, so finally. But yeah, everything was still kind of growing, so I don't want to cut back any of my perennials when they're in that growing stage. And right now I want the ground to freeze solid so they go to sleep. And the one thing about mulching is you want to keep the cold in the ground. You don't want to keep the heat in the ground. You want to keep the cold. That's why you want to do it, like with the leaves, do it after the ground has frozen. That'll be in about a week here. They're talking like a low one of these nights to 17 degrees Fahrenheit. That's crazy. That's December. But so yeah, so anything that's a little tender, the Hakanakol grasses, I will be putting a lot of mulch on, probably about a foot of mulch. And I shouldn't say mulch, leaves. That's what I use. I have lots and lots of leaves, and I just utilize them. Anything that you can say have a lot of leaves in here, I'm leaving it. These three right here will definitely get a lot of leaves on. Again, I can't say enough about leaves. Your garden beds will thank you for it. But yeah, I let all the perennials die back and decompose. It adds organic matter to your soil. In the spring, I just clean it all up. It's a lot of work, but it works for me. As long as you have chosen wisely for your zone and the correct plants, they should make it through winter okay. Like I said, I have a few that are a little tender for me, and that I know, and I will take a little more care with those. And also, if you have anything that's been newly planted, split, make sure they're well watered in until the ground freezes. But other than that, not much to my fall prep. Biggest thing, I mulch with leaves. Clean up my pots. I've left the plastic ones over there. I don't cut my perennials down. A lot of them have seed heads for the birds to eat, and also there's beneficial, well, not just beneficial, all insects could be in here. It's kind of a home for them. Granted, it's going to be a bit messy, but I'm okay with that. Just get a view again here of the grasses. They are really pretty. So hopefully this has been helpful and also a little pretty to look at, and bye for now.